Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be working on some bits and bobs around the base. And to get started, we're going to work on making a skeleton spawner down in the mines underneath our base. Let me grab all the stuff we're going to need and get down there and do a little bit of work. Here is what we've got to work with the first spawner. I'm just going to have them come down and go straight to me through here. I'll fix this up a little bit when I'm ready to do that. Over here is where they'll be spawning, and as you can see, the spawner is active. If I step back, though, it deactivates. You can barely see it. It deactivates when I'm this far away. So I have to be here in order for it to be active. And here is the other spawner that we found. Unfortunately, it's not close enough for us to use both at the same time. It's just a few blocks short. As you can see, it's active here, here, and then it stops by about here. Yeah, active here, not active here. And then we need to be right next to that tough block over there in order for that one to be active. So they're just slightly out of range, which is very unfortunate. But we can try to find another area later to see if we can find a double spawner. It'll be okay for now. We'll use just the one. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one ready to actually be working, see if I need to adjust this. I'm not using a tutorial or anything. I'm doing this all based off of memory from what I've seen, so it might take me a minute to get it properly adjusted. We'll find out. So it's definitely not a flawless design, but it's working for now. I definitely think I need to maybe get some bubble columns going, but I haven't been to the nether yet. So I will have to eventually go to the nether and get that so that I can kind of fix this, because I know what the problem is, and I think that would be more of the solution than what I can currently do with what I've got right now. But like I said, it's working. I'm getting XP, I'm getting bones and bows and arrows and everything like that, so I think it's good enough for now. I'm pretty happy with it for now at the start of the game. This will really help me, especially the bones will really help me. I definitely am going to need those for growing everything that I want to decorate with. So we're doing pretty decent so far. It took me a while to kind of troubleshoot this. I had a few ideas, but they didn't pan out the way that I wanted them to. He's jumping. Yeah, so I gotta fix this part here. As you can kind of see, you can see their toes and they're not jumping off this edge here, but I can't really bring that section up higher. I did try that, and that caused other issues. So I think the bubble columns will definitely be the way to go. But I'm happy with this. This will do. And I'm going to gather all of the supplies that I got from here. That way I can bring it upstairs. And I'm going to gather all my extra supplies over here. I did find diamonds while I was making this little corridor here, so that's really good as well. And I got a bunch of extra stuff that I'm going to bring up too. I think I might leave just a bit of deep slate here, just in case I need to build, and I might also leave maybe that door. The rest of the room's pretty basic. It's just going to be a spawner. Maybe eventually I'll come down here and I will decorate this more properly, but for now, I'm keen to just leave it pretty basic. I think that's okay. This is kind of the maintenance tunnel. Through here is where the spawner is. And then when I come out here, my chest used to be here, and then there's the mine shaft. So pretty simple, pretty easy to access. All I have to do to leave is to just go through here. And then right over here, you can see there's my stairway up. I still need to get some stuff in the roof, but I'll do that later. The next thing that I want to work on is going to be down here, one layer down from the storage. I've already kind of mapped this part out because you guys have seen me build this already, but this is the room I want to work on, and I want to make kind of a rudimentary lava farm slash furnace room. So these are furnaces in the floor that I've kind of already pre-placed, but I want to build some lava cauldrons that go up right here that will constantly fill with lava so that I have more fuel. And I want to make this room kind of a way for me to bulk smelt stuff still manually. Maybe eventually I'll try to figure out how to make an auto smelter, but I want to try to learn things rather than just look up tutorials on that. So that might be something that takes me a while. And for now, I'll use manual stuff until I'm ready to try to overcome making a farm. I think this is what the basic setup is going to look like. I still need to do that over here, but I'm not sure that I have the iron for the cauldrons. I can at least set up these top sections though and get those ready for later and then see how much iron it would cost me to cast 6 more of these cauldrons and see if I can kind of complete the room with that. So here is our forge room. I decided to go ahead and put all of the cauldrons in, even though we are a little bit tight on iron. I think overall this will be helpful in the future. I'm considering adding some chests off to the side and potentially some workstations as I go along, but for now I think this will do. I think this is pretty decent, and this will help me get started on mass smelting things if I ever need to, such as glass, etc. That would be really cool. Okay, I added the barrels and I put my buckets in here so that whenever I want to do something, I can go ahead and grab my buckets. I'll eventually make enough buckets for all of the furnaces. I think that would be a good idea. Not sure what I want to put here in the middle. Probably some decorative floor elements, but I'm not sure. Next on the agenda of bits and bobs that I want to work on is this pathway. I've laid out the path itself, but I want to decorate this area, and I also want to make a few things more cohesive. I think I want to change this farm right here slightly. I think I don't really need that much sugarcane, so I think it would be better used converting it to something else. Not all of it, but some of it. So I'm going to work on updating that as well as updating these areas as well and getting some more interest in them and trying to make things a little bit more cohesive if I can. Here is a bit of an update of what I've been working on. I have started to add more detail to the path and to the ground. I've added torches underneath some of these areas here. I'm going to be adding some more grass like over there, over here once I have everything kind of detailed out. But for now, I just have it kind of flat until I know where I'm putting everything. I've turned this area into mud to match the area that was underneath the dock over here, which I did, I think, in like maybe episode 2. So now it's all kind of mud now. I'm going to continue the mud further in, but I think I'm going to need a conduit before I do that because it's quite tedious trying to do it by hand when you have to resurface every few seconds. So I'll probably wait on going further down, but for now, I'm making some progress on it. I have made some progress on the farm over there as well. You can kind of see that there's not nearly as much sugarcane, and I'll bring us over there a little bit later once more of the crops are grown in so that you can see what it looks like fully completed. Next, I want to get started over here. I want to start to add some piles of maybe copper, maybe stone. I want to add some of the rails and mine carts in here as well, since this is our mine. I just want it to look like this area belongs here a little bit more instead of just being a building that's coming out of nowhere. So I want to kind of add something that tells more of a story with that. I've added a little bit so far. I've added a copper pile that is being held down by rails, and I've also added some stone piles here with some rails here as well. I think I'm going to put a mine cart on probably this one. I would love to get some pale oak buttons to add over here so that it looks like there's little bits of stone as well, but I don't have pale oak yet, so that's going to have to wait. Now I have to think of what to put in like these areas. It might just be foliage for now. I think that would be okay. And then I have to decide what I want on this part of the path. I was kind of thinking a tree here. I think that would look really good, but I'm not exactly sure if I should just bone meal and try to get a tree that way, or if I should try to build a tree. I have never built a tree, so that might be something interesting to do. Maybe for this episode, maybe I'll leave this side a little bit more blank so that I can come back to it when I have a little bit more time to really flesh a tree out. But for now, I think I'll try to at least finish up that side, and maybe I'll add just a little bit of foliage on this side so it isn't super plain. I think I'm finally done with what I want to do on this side over here today. So I've added a little bit of a bench to sit on underneath the window so you can look out. Hopefully this will eventually be a little bit more to look at. And then of course I've added all of the like grass and the little dry grass and some flowers and some firefly bushes. I added some lamps and everything too so that it's more lit up at night. I think it's looking a lot better, and it's definitely looking like more of a mining area, which I really like. Might eventually add something here. This looks a little bit plain to me as well. Maybe another one of these or even another one of these might be better. Could always maybe add maybe a gold one or something like that. Or I could even add maybe some more hay over here so that it kind of transitions a little bit better into this. I'm not quite sure. Over here, I didn't do too much. I added a little bit of moss inside of here. Not much going on though. So here's what I did with the farm. I kind of pulled the sugar cane back a bit, and I added a bunch of different crops all the way around. So we've got our carrots, we've got beetroot, and then we've got potatoes. I figured that's a lot more useful to me than just a million sugarcane, and the sugarcane still gives quite a lot. I did harvest it before this so that we could kind of see it all at the same height because I thought it looked a little bit nicer, and it still gives almost 3 stacks, so that's really good. And I think this will be a better use of this space rather than just a million sugarcane. Now I have more crops going on, and if I ever need carrots or potatoes or even the beetroot in the back, I can use that now too. So I'm pretty happy with the change that I made here. So I'm sure in the video, all of the building that I've done has been pretty quick. I can't imagine that it's taken too long in the video to get where I'm at. But in reality, it took me quite a lot of time to get here, despite not too much changing. I want to break from building in this episode. I think I'm going to get myself ready, and then we're going to adventure that way because I haven't been that way too far yet. And we're going to see if we can find anything. One of the things that I've been working on while I've been taking little bits and bobs of breaks is I have been fishing. And I've gotten a little bit of loot while I've been fishing, including another Nautilus shell, which I think puts us at 4 or 5. So that's pretty exciting, as well as a book. This book has fortune and unbreaking on it, and I'm extremely tempted to put it on the diamond hoe or to go ahead and make a second fortune pick in case this one gets low since I don't have mending yet. One or the other, but I think that would be a good use for it. I think with this Nautilus shell, one of my major goals is to maybe find a heart of the sea while we're out. If we can get lucky and find some shipwrecks, I would really like to get close to making a conduit. So yeah, it looks like we have 5. I would really like to get close to making that conduit so that way we could breathe underwater and I can work on the lake a little bit more, a little bit easier. Obviously, that means that I'm going to need to fight an underwater temple in order to be able to get the prismarine. I have I have fought an underwater temple before, but not by myself in vanilla. So that might take a little bit of prep for. And I think in order to feel comfortable doing that, I'm going to want water breathing potions, which means that first and foremost, a nether trip will be within our sights. So I think for this episode, we'll do some exploring, maybe see if we can find that heart of the sea. And if we find it, maybe next episode we go to the nether. I'm hoping to find some good stuff on this adventure, particularly things like a heart of the sea. It would also be nice to find pale oak and cherry. That would be really nice as well. But there's other things that we could find that would probably be just as useful. Maybe finding an ocean monument would be pretty cool. Just so I can kind of have an idea of where to go when I'm ready to try to defeat that to get the blocks that I want. Barely saw this nether portal. Let's see if there's anything good here. A gold block, I'll take that. Two lodestones, that's pretty good. And some bits and bobs, let's take those. Might even take the obsidian as well. I see cherry in the distance, and it's gonna be nighttime. Grab what I can here. Some fire charges, I'll take those, and another lodestone. Dang, I'm having a good luck with lodestones. I ended up waiting out the night in this little cove here because I didn't want to get attacked while I was gathering the cherry blossoms. But I used that time to cook up a bunch of steaks, so now I have a bit more food in case the trip goes longer than I'm intending. So here's what I've gotten so far. I think I'm going to throw out a little bit of these and put the rest in here, and I think I'll go ahead and keep all 9 of those. I'm going to hold on to this cherry wood for now, but I may get rid of it if my inventory gets a little bit more full. We'll see. But I think now that we've collected that, it's kind of time to continue. See if we can find anything else useful on our travels. 2 out of 3 bees, I'll take it. Some sweet berry bushes. That looks like a pretty precarious place to put your house. I didn't find too much at this village, just a couple of cauldrons and a blast furnace. Having some crazy luck with these storms. Found some ice though, that's pretty good. Is this the good kind of igloo? Nope, it's the fake. I might take that. Is this finally an ocean? Let's see if we can find any shipwrecks. This is definitely interesting. This is kind of crazy. I like how half of the village is way up there. That's really silly. Let's see if these guys have anything interesting. A grindstone, I'm going to borrow that. A cartographer table, I'll take that as well. Another pouch. I think I'll leave all that. Another pouch, wow. I think I'll leave all that. You know, I keep calling them pouches. I noticed myself doing that, and they're bundles. My bad. And I think I'll leave all that. 2 bundles is really good, though. The rest of the village appears to be up there. I'm not sure if I want to climb all the way up there. Let me grab my boat. Maybe I will make the trip up there. A smoker? I think I'll go ahead and take that. Some iron armor. I'll leave that, but I'll take the blast furnace. Blast furnaces are incredibly useful. This is just a well, and I think that might be it. I don't think I've ever seen a Stony Cliff area quite this large before. This is pretty cool. I might see if I can find some iron, because I know I'm running low at home. I surprisingly didn't find much exposed iron, just 14 pieces. I didn't look on that side, but I'm kind of distracted. I'm thinking I might go get some of that snow and then head over there to that nether portal, see if I can find anything good. I finally found an ocean. I was sailing around during the night and it was really disorienting with all of the rain. But the sun is finally coming up and I've spotted a little bit of land. And it looks like we've got a shipwreck and an outpost. So we'll have to check both of these out, see if we can find anything. Please be a treasure map. Treasure map, treasure map, treasure map, please. Some moss and some coal, and I'll take the gunpowder. I don't think I'll take any of the other stuff. Oh, this is pretty damaged. I don't think it has the other room. Oh, maybe. No, it doesn't have another chest. Dang. Dang. Well, now that it's daytime, we should be able to see some stuff at least. So that's good. Ooh. Uh-oh. Going in. Okay. Whew. Put that there. Anything good? Well, a crossbow, that's pretty decent. And an extra piece of string. I'd say I'll probably leave the rest of this here. I can make tripwire hooks pretty easily, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Let's see, anything else worthwhile? Oof. Kind of want to head that way. I might jump it. No, thank you, sir. I don't know how long they'll continue to follow me for, so I'm going to leave pretty far. Ooh. Oh my goodness, they follow you far. Wow, guys. Wow, okay, goodness. Kind of wish I'd brought an extra compass, because I'm not ready to dig this out right now. I have a lodestone, but I don't have an extra compass, and I don't have an extra bit of redstone on me. I think really quickly I'm going to mark down these coordinates so we can find this later, because I'd love to dig this out and see if we can maybe get some sherds and armor trims. So give me just 1 second. Okay, I've got the coordinates for this marked down. We're definitely going to want to come back to this at some point. I think this will be really cool, and we'll be able to find a bunch of good stuff in there. I know most of the loot you get from him is kind of junky, but I think that's okay. I don't mind getting things like candles and stained glass and stuff like that. I still think those can be useful for builds, so I don't mind getting them. I can barely see another shipwreck out in the distance. Let's go check that out. Okay, I'm really hoping this time that I'm gonna find a treasure map. I really want a treasure map. I'll take an armor trim. That's pretty cool too. Ooh, Ooh, a buried treasure map. Good, good, good. Hopefully that'll give us a Heart of the Sea. Anything from here that I want? Not really. I think we're good. Oh, we're not very far from the area either. What is that? This way? Yes. Looks like it's down this little river. Somewhere over here in this sand. Oh, there it is. Nice. And Heart of the Sea, yay. That's really wonderful. Okay, let's get all of our loot here. We got a water breathing potion. That's a good start. My inventory is excessively full, like always. Uh-oh. Ouch. These guys are really hard to hit. Ouch. Ooh. That was kind of spooky. Still wasn't done raiding this chest. Put that away. We got 3 membranes. That'll be good for when we get an elytra. I think the rest of this, I'll take this. Yeah. I just want you guys to know that the entire time that I was doing that battle, I kept wondering why my shield wasn't working, and it was because I was holding a map in my offhand. Very astute, very astute. I'm going to go ahead and break that. I didn't really... Oop, no, more have spawned. Anyways, as I was saying, I was trying to break that so that I could get rid of some of this extra stuff I don't need right now. Put those membranes away. Take my torches back. Sheesh. And we're gonna head out. I have to admit, I usually sleep every single night, so I'm not really used to the phantoms, and I didn't realize they just kept spawning if you kill them. That's very interesting, but kind of useful, to be honest. So here's the shipwreck that we were at earlier, so there's nothing left on this one. But we are heading slightly towards home, which I think is good. Might follow this coast. I feel like I usually find shipwrecks pretty close to the edge of the land rather than out in the middle of the ocean. I think that's another shipwreck over there. Yeah, it is. Let's go check this one out. See if maybe this one has a treasure map too. Some coal. It does have another. Ooh, this one's really close to the other one. So I actually don't know if this one's going to connect or not. Let's hope it doesn't. Fingers crossed. This is a new treasure map. Yes. Ooh, okay. You know, I'm not entirely sure this isn't the same map, but we'll head that way just in case. If it starts to clear up over here right around that other area, then we know it's the same map. I'm surprised it didn't clear it, though. Wonder if that's something they changed. No, I'm going the wrong way. Oof. Ouch. Oh, and more phantoms. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, goodness. That was kind of a mess. Okay, let's attempt that again. I suppose we should start off by going in the correct direction, and I do think this is the same one, yeah, because there's the boat. There's the one we were at previously, so I do think it's the same one. I'll go over here just to see if it triggers on the map. Yeah, it did. That kind of sucks, but that's okay. We at least still got one Heart of the Sea, so that's better than nothing. I think I'm going to head up this hill next. Maybe that was a sign that I was being too greedy about getting Hearts of the Sea. There's pale oak. This is such a tiny biome. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't even know if we're going to get lucky enough to get a heart. That's still really cool though. We could at least get some stuff. And I'll sure give it a shot. See if we get a heart. That'll be really cool. I've never gotten this in, I've never gotten to see this since it came out. I didn't really play much, which was kind of a downer. So I didn't really play much, and that's where this thing comes in. Let's see if we can use this to get a few saplings. Oh, wow, that went fast. Got at least one. Okay. I'm so overwhelmed with new biome that I, like, don't know how to talk. So, forgive me. I've cut down a lot of trees trying to find a creaking heart, and I have not found one yet, which sucks. I probably need a bigger... Oh my goodness. I was going to say I probably need a bigger biome than this. Oh my goodness. Let's get up here. Oh my goodness. And then I need silk touch. Silk touch. This still picks up with a pick. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I'm going to dump some of that out. That's way more important. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Oh my goodness. See if I see any more creaking. It would be nice to have more than one, but I'll take just one if that's all I get. Not seeing or hearing anybody. Oh. Sheesh. Okay. I think I'm going to head down to there. I'm going to take what we got. One creaking heart is more than enough to get resin. Out of that new biome, I think the thing I've always been the most excited about is the resin. I think the resin's really cool. I was really happy that they added more vibrant block to it, even though like the rest of the area is pretty muted and desaturated. I was really excited about that one. Oh, I have so much stuff. I'm going to get rid of a lot of that pale oak. If I really want it, I can come back here. Was there gold here? Doesn't look like it. No. Another one. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to write the coordinates for this. This is actually only a couple hundred blocks away from the other one. The other one is kind of like right over the mountain that way. That's really crazy how close those are together. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave these torches here, just as an easy indicator for where it is. A flower biome! As if my inventory isn't full enough. Oh my goodness. It's time to gather flowers now. Let me get a little bit of space. I don't need this extra wood, I don't think. Oh my goodness. I think I'm going to collect like 5 of each to put into my bundle to take home. And to round off the flower biome, there were sunflowers right across the water. There we go. Look at all those flowers. Sheesh. That's really good. I think that's pretty much all of the flowers collected now. I think it's finally time to head home. My inventory is so packed, I don't know if I can gather much more to bring with me. So I think it would probably be smart to head home and see what all we've collected. Now that we're home, let's see what we got. So we have everything in our inventory. I got some leads on the way. A wandering trader did spawn and zombies killed it. So I'd managed to get the leads from that. I got the crossbow from that Illager tower, so that's pretty good. I was able to get some more iron on the way home while I was crossing over a couple of mountains. That's also really nice. We found that pale oak biome, pale gardens, I think. We found an ice biome. I got a couple of decent bee nests so we could make a bee farm in the future. Lots of leather. We found the cherry biome. So in here I have mostly just the ore goodies, all the ingots and stuff like that. And I had brought some sticks along in case I needed like an extra pick or anything like that on the run. Then in here, I have a bunch of mob drops. The 7 phantom membranes, I think, is really good, as well as the smithing templates. That's also really cool. And we got the Heart of the Sea, which means if I just do a little bit more fishing, we'll be able to make the conduit once we find some kind of underwater temple to be able to get the prismarine, I think. In here, mostly workstations, a couple of free lodestones. That's really good. I also have those snow blocks. I think it's just like 2 snow blocks and a carved pumpkin, maybe. So you can make a snow golem and make a farm for that. So I could get infinite snow that way. That's really good. Then we have the cherry blossom stuff, a couple of extra food goods that I found. I grabbed some kelp in case we want to make a kelp farm or if we want to use kelp to decorate the lake. I know it's a lake and it doesn't really make sense, but it's still pretty and I might want to add it. And then, of course, some sweet berries. I don't remember if we had some, so I grabbed some just in case. All of the stuff from the pale oak biome. So we got the vines, which I think will be really useful coming up. I have a build in mind, and I think they might be good for that. Then we got the Creaking Heart, which is the thing I'm probably the most excited for out of everything that we got. I think that's really awesome, and I really am excited to be able to use the resin blocks as well as the little resin clumps or whatever they're called. I don't remember what they're called, but I'm excited to use those because I think they kind of look like ores or like little spits of lava coming off of stuff. I think that's cool. Also have the pale moss, so if I wanted to add that in an area, that'll be really nice. And then a bunch of flowers, including the peony and the sunflower, which are renewable. I only grabbed 5 of each of the other ones because I'm not sure how often I would decorate with them, but I think they're good for adding them to builds, especially with the little pot. I think then I can use them somewhere and that'll look really cool as well. Also, while we were out, I did take the coordinates for both of those dig sites, the trail ruins. So we have 2 of those that we can go explore in the future. And they looked like 2 different ones from what I could see from them, the amount of them that was above ground. So that'll also be really cool to be able to see both of those. I think I've only ever seen the first version, which had I think it's like white terracotta on top. I've only ever seen that one. I haven't seen the other one. I haven't like dug up the other one. So that'll be a new experience and that'll be really cool. That might be an episode in the future all on its own since I think those are really cool. Overall, I think this was a really, really good haul. We also got the start of a water breathing potion. I will still need to go to the nether. 1 potion is not going to be enough. And in order to make this a longer duration, I still need breeze rods. So even though we got this one, this is only good for maybe going to do, I don't know, maybe going to gather some coral or something like that if I can find a biome for that. I'm not sure. So I'm definitely still going to want to go to the nether. Let me put everything away and then we'll wrap up. I'm putting everything away still, but I just wanted to bring this to anybody's attention who might not have realized this like I did. Apparently, you can put empty bundles inside of a bundle. I didn't realize you could do that, and that's kind of crazy. That's really useful for kind of planning and bringing extra bundles in the future, and then you can just pop one out every single time you need to start filling it. You wait, what? That's kind of crazy. Anyways, yeah, so you can do that, and I keep doing it backwards. My bad. Um, so you can do that. So you could just store a bunch of bundles and take them with you. Kind of feels like they maybe take up a little bit more room than regular items do, but that's still really cool. I didn't realize you could put bundles inside of a bundle. Um, and it looks like you might even be able to do it when they have one or two items in them. So you could save even more inventory room, I guess. That's kind of crazy. I didn't know you could do that. I just thought I would bring that up in case anybody didn't know like I did. Unfortunately, it's the end of the episode now, and I'd like to kind of just go over the things that we worked on today. We fixed this farm over here so that it wasn't just a behemoth of sugar cane. We did a bit of terraforming and setting up little POIs so that we can kind of make this area more cohesive with that area. I think that's pretty good. Then inside, we set up this lava and furnace area so that we can start to smelt things in bulk. And then further down the mines, we set up a skeleton spawner so that we can get plenty of bones, arrows, bows, as well as XP. And I think that'll do it for us today. So if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.